residents of African Americans in America. I also want to take this opportunity to encourage our entire body, which is a multicultural, diverse body, to share with all of us your backgrounds, your memories, things about you. We need to know about each other. If we're a family, and we are a family, we need to know about each other. So just like I'm presenting today for Black History Month, I want you to feel free to share with us about your history, okay? So I just want to let you know that, all right? So what I'm going to do briefly, because we have a full schedule today, I'd like to start out by making a presentation to a special person who is a member of this body, and she's my niece. And so I want Mrs. Cassandra Harrow, if she's in the room, to please come forward. And I want to tell you a little bit about why we're recognizing her today. Is Sandy in the building? There she is. I want her to come forward because I was so blessed to find this out about my baby girl. Okay. Sandy was at the library in Gilroy one day, and she looked around knowing that the month of February is Black History Month, and she didn't see any indication of anything about the occasion or the event. And so Sandy, all by herself, took it upon herself to question these people, said, why isn't there something here to represent Black History Month? This is February, why? And they couldn't give her an answer, and they were reluctant and what have you, and you correct me if I'm not doing this right. And so Sandy said about it, she said, oh no, she gonna change that. So my niece, all by herself, contacted the Gilroy Dispatch newspaper and told them her story. And the man said to her, according to Sandy, ma'am, we got a story. And just to cut it short, you need to go online to read this. The title of it is Black History Month Forgotten, ? Is it? Okay. So anyway, they wrote this in the paper, and activity began to flurry around. She contacted several other people, and all by herself, she got this Gilroy Library to establish a Black History Month exhibit. All by herself. The NAACP didn't help her. Nobody else came to her aid, but this baby took it upon herself because she's proud of who she is, of God's creation. And she went about to make this thing happen. And you know what? I love my girl, I really do. But I want this should be an indication to all of us. If you believe in something, stand up for it. If it's not well represented, you do something about it. Don't wait for the establishment to do it. She did it by herself. So what I put together for her, just for her to be recognized, is a certificate, and it says 2016 Logos Christian Fellowship Church presents the certificate for community service excellence to Cassandra Harrow for bringing recognition of Black History Month to the Gilroy Library. Presented this 28th day of February, San Jose, California, signed by Pastor Isaac Neal, First Lady Star Neal, to Sandy.
How's everybody doing? Yes. Amen, amen. Yeah, that something that I know in myself I couldn't have done on my own. But what the pastor had handed out, the love scriptures, and I tell you it works. Because I could have had an entirely different attitude, outlook on the whole thing. And I remember who I represent first, and that's Christ. That's who I represent first, and family. And after what I encountered, I just politely said, thank you very much, and I walked out. And then I walked outside the front of the library, and I said, Lord, who do I call? That's what I said. Lord, who do I call? And before I knew it, I dialed your right to dispatch newspaper. They answered the phone. They heard what I was talking about, and he informed me what to do next. And the Lord just, his hand was upon this. It was all God. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I'm just so proud to be a child of God. So what we have before you this morning, First Lady Star, every year, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Black History Month, she always want to have something for the church to share with me. And after she read my story, she wasn't going to do anything. This is the First Lady. She wasn't going to do anything because she didn't feel like nobody wanted to hear it. No participation. And this is part of heritage of everybody in here. We all have stories to share with one another. And we have some young folks that's going to come up here and read a couple of short stories of some African-American inventors.
Amen.
Amen. I will have April will be reading a short story called What Happened to the 40 Acres in a Mule.
On January 12, 1865, in the midst of his march to the sea, during the Civil War, General William T. Sherman and Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton met with 20 Black community leaders of Savannah, Georgia, to discuss the Emancipation Proclamation and the freedom of previously enslaved individuals. Based on their NQ, General Sherman's Special Field Order Number 15 on January 16, 1865 was to set aside the sea islands and a 30-mile inland tract of land starting along the southern coast of Charleston and extending down to St. John River, Florida, for the exclusive settlement of Blacks. Each family would receive 40 acres of land and an army mule to work the land, therefore 30 acres and a mule. General Rufus Sexton was assigned by Sherman to implement the order. On a national level, this jurisdiction of the Freedmen's Bureau, which was headed by General Oliver Otis Howard, founder of Howard University. In his words, he wanted to give the freedmen protection, land and schools as far and as fast as he can. However, during the summer and fall of 1865, President Andrew Johnson issued special pardons, returning the property to the ex-convicts. Howard issued Circular 13, giving 40 acres as quickly as possible. Upon reading of this, President Johnson ordered Howard to issue Circular 15, returning the land to the ex-convicts. So that's what happened to Special Field Order Number 15. President Andrew Johnson returned the 40 acres and a mule to the original slave holders.
Herman L Grimes, inventor of folding wing aircraft. Herman L Grimes in 1936 received a patent as the inventor of folding wing aircraft, which was used in combat on aircraft carriers. Folding wing aircraft enabled the U.S. Navy to stock more planes on its aircraft and gave the U.S. an advantage over Japanese carriers during the World War II. Folding wing aircraft such as the Hellcat, Tiger Cat, and the Wild Wing accounted for over 75% of the downed enemy aircraft in the Pacific theater. The invention of folding wing aircraft shortened the war and saved many American lives. It was forerunner to the modern technology, which is presently used in the designing of fighter aircraft. President George Bush flew the Avenger bomber, also a folding wing aircraft during World War II. As an African American, Grimes neither received recognition nor compensation for his invention. He died a frustrated man, aware of the benefit of his invention. However, unable to leave any comprehension to his heirs, his family has attempted to correct history books dealing with the subjects of aircraft in World War II.
Jason's going to be reading about the Statue of Liberty. You'll be surprised what you get to hear now.
The Statue of Liberty was originally the model of a black woman holding chains. French historian Edward, chairman of the French Anti-Slavery Society, together with the sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, proposed to the government of France that the French people present to the people of the United States the gift of the Statue of Liberty. The statue would be in recognition of the fact that black soldiers played a role in the winning the Civil War in the United States, ending African American bondage there. In 1884, when the model of the Statue of Liberty was presented to the U.S. minister to France, he felt that the dominant view of the broken chains would be offensive to the United States South because it would be a reminder to the beaten South that their despised captives had participated in the winning their freedom. Bartholdi was encouraged to alter the image and change the model to what we see today in the New York Harbor.
I just learned something new myself today, that the Statue of Liberty was originally the shape of a black woman.
Thank you, young people. So we want to encourage everyone that this is just a few stories of some African American black inventors, of what they brought to the country here. Also, I came across a couple of things right quick, if it's all right, Pastor. The cell phone, anybody know who invented the cell phone? It was a black man. Wes. Who created it. If it wasn't for Dr. Sampson, we wouldn't have cell phone technology today. The blood bank. Anybody know who invented the blood bank? Dr. Charles Drew, blood bank inventor. He managed 2 of the largest blood banks during World War II. Born in 1904, around 1938, pioneered in the field of blood plasma research. Lewis Howard Latimer, the year 1881. Played an important role in its development. 1881, Latimer patented a method for making carbon filaments, allowing light bulbs to burn for an hour instead of minutes. Though Thomas Edison is recognized as the inventor of the light bulb. Garrett Morgan, inventor of the first traffic light. These are just some of the things that we don't even know. We don't realize when you come to a stoplight. Oh, it's just a stoplight. But who invented it? And so again, it's history that continues to go. It's history we would like to continue to share in our stories and with our young people. If I can have all of the children's church kids that are here, if they can come up front, please. Amen? Here they come. Here they come. There's more of you. Don't be shy. I see children over here. It's all right. You guys can come on up over here. Praise the Lord. Heritage. history, stories, great-great-great-grandparents. This is a lot of rich heritage standing up here in front of you. It's so important to continue sharing the stories of history. Don't let it just end in school. It needs to continue outside of that. The world's changing, and we want to continue to share our stories, how we got here. Amen?